All right, I'm going to be working on another lighter here. This is a John Sterling, or actually, yeah, this is a John Sterling lighter. Or there's another one like it, except this one here is marked Colibri. Okay. And here's another one like it, except this is marked Crown. Now, you can see that they're all pretty much the same, except for maybe they're pretty much the same. All right, this one I got repaired already. But anyway, even though the Crown, John Sterling Crown, and one other one, Colibri, these all have the same valve systems in them. All right, so just so you'll know. So what I'm going to do is plant assembly and everything is working good. Let's see what we got in. Let's see what we got in as far as being able to hold gas. Why heck? I must have worked on this one before. I don't know. Either that or let's see here. This has got a converted filler valve in it. The O-ring looks good. Let me put this back. I should have tested it first. These type of lighters are notorious for having them single pin filler valves. So let's see what we got here. Look like it's filling up very well. Let me get another fill valve here. See if I got one in here. I gave one away to the guy who bought a lighter off of me. Let's try this one. Let's try that one. Exactly what you want. try this one. Modify the tip here a little bit. Work a little better. Man, wasting a lot of butane on that. Let me get it. Now let's try it again. Isn't that something? That valve's gotta. Take this valve out here in the middle. Nothing ever goes as planned when you're working on these lighters, guys. Nothing. Nothing ever goes like you want when you're working on these freaking lighters. Fill this thing up. Should work great for. I'm gonna something different here. I'm going to put a different O-ring on here. It's a 1 by 1 by 1. I think that's too big. Two point 387979, 3.57, 0.19. That could be a little better. I'm going to get 0.8. Let's see what we got here. And that 3. Let's measure the shelf on that. Two and a half. I think this is my 2.5. I'm thinking this 3 might work a little better. Try not to get too big of an inner diameter on that. Get too big of an inner diameter on that, then once you plug in that little hole around, you want butane to kind of blow around that seal. Now it's a little looser on there. That's the way you want it. Okay, let's stick that back in there. And gosh darn it. On the floor too. Pulled off my, I tell you, man. It's right down there at the bottom. Maybe I better zoom out a little bit. All right. See what we got now. quite sealing like it should. We need another O-ring on there. Should seal a lot better than that. That should do it. There we go. Got a little bitty flame here. Alright. Little bitty flame here. So let's take this valve out. Spring. Don't want to lose that. Definitely need a new seal in there. Definitely need a new seal. Okay, let's get a seal. I'm going to have to measure outer diameter of that to get me close. 1.5 is too big. Let's try a 1.2. All I'm going to use on this is, if it'll work, is the stem. I'll cut the stopper part off, and I'll put it in with my other bags. No, that's way small. Let's go with the 1.5. That looks way too big. Let's try this one. Well, let's try it the other way. Let's see. .5. Let's try. Let's try this head here. Careful not to bend these either. Yeah, I think that's what we need right there. Just gonna go with that one. Cut that off. Yeah, I'll get in there. I didn't cut that enough. Left too much of a tail on that. Man, that's tedious work. There we go. There we go. Now in there sideways. Just give me a minute here. And I'll tell you, every time I buy these little pointed ones, I end up burning the points up on them. I just don't realize how fragile them tips are on these. And when I need them for something like this, it makes it a little tough. It's good as rubber though. Yeah, let's try one more time. This way. Still sideways. Yeah, you can see why that guys that like got parts for these needle valves, you know. And you can see why they just throw the needle away and just throw the needle away instead of trying to repair it. But when you ain't got no parts, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna put a little flare on this. I'm gonna put a little flare on the tip of that. I should have something here that will work. See if that makes it any easier. Not really. Gosh darn it. There we go. There we go. All right, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's in there. And it's as good as you're gonna get. All right. That part's done. valve apart. Well, let's just leave that right there. That little thing. Be careful and don't lose that. Take out the pressure regulator, internal pressure regulator screw. I did little videos on this before, but anytime I do a re-video, guys, always pay attention to my newest video, because sometimes I might update certain. Good Lord. That sponge looks good. Just, in my opinion, just needs a hole in it. Was hard coming out. Yeah. Looks like there's okay. This is what I call a piston, guys. Now, I don't have the exact O-ring, but I gotta come up with something as close as possible. I'm measuring something about 2.65. Yeah, probably around 2.6. And with a CS of about 6, 2.6 by 6. So let me see. Yeah, 2.6 by 6. I think I had them laid over here on that other O-ring, or that other lighter I was working on. 2.6 by 6. Right there it is. Looky there, there's a little, now, I've never seen one of them in there before. That was right in the front, that was right never seen one of them unless that might have been on the back of the sponge. I probably worked on about 10 of these lighters. I've never seen that in there before. Wow, look at that. You see it? Boom. That thing just took off on me. That's why I usually grab these out and put them on. That's about as close as you're gonna get. Look at that. All right. Put as much grease on the O-ring as you can on these lighters, guys. I mean, as far as greasing your O-rings. Grease your O-rings. It helps. There we go. Perfect. Well, I don't know about that sponge. That half, it needs to be about the exact same size. 2.8. Let's see. I had some sponges up here. Let me look. It's working on that other lighter. Let me cut off another one. Wonder why it was laying up there. Even though that sponge looks good, I'm gonna put another one in. Get these off eBay. Guy by the name of Lighter Parts. I'll tell you what, guys, here's what I'm going through here. This piston, what I call piston, I put in here. Let me zoom in a little bit. That thing just operates like a piston. See that? They're like a little piston in rings, if you will. Now, when you screw this in, this here, let me show you. Let me push that out. When you screw this in, this will, see how this back, this recessed area mates up with the back of this right here? Well, when you screw this in, this will push this piston in, squeeze your sponge a little bit more, or unloosen it. You know, when you squeeze your sponge low flame, when you unloosen this screw, you're going to get a higher flame. All right? And you can see that some of this here piston, let's just call it a little end of the piston here. You see how it sticks through? Well, and when you put this external flame screw in, it pushes. So you got a little dimple in there. It pushes this and gives you your secondary flame adjustment screw. Keep that in mind. That's how that works. All right. Now, you get too big of an O-ring, it's like having an over. It's just like if you get too big of an O-ring, this piston is going to seize up in there. Because, guys, the only way that piston comes back is through butane pressure. Okay? Now, I've only seen one lighter. I don't know, maybe I've seen probably one brand, and I can't remember what it is. But what they did to counteract that is they put a spring ahead of this. Of course, inside the tube, it had to have a little bit more of a recess, so the spring would lay against the walls than this here. The spring would actually, when you unloosen the flame adjustment screw, would actually push the piston back. But this here works by butane pressure. So you just got to, that's just the way that works. So that's just the way it works, and that's as good as it's going to get for this design. And most of them are designed like this. Now, even I Am Corona, today they got good quality lighters, but they design their lighters just like that. That's why you have to take your butane. If you're storing your lighter, you have to take your butane out. Okay? Take your butane out. If you don't, it'll muddy up the sponge, get corrosion in there in your tank, and these brass parts will stick and nothing will work right. If you got a flint in it, take the flint out so it doesn't decompose and clog up your flint chamber. Okay, that takes the same size O-ring, because I took one of these apart before. See my chart here? John Colibri and John Sterling main valve seal sizes. Alright. You can see that the piston O-ring here is the same size as the outer ring on this part here. Saves me having to just keep remeasuring stuff over and over again. If I'd have only done that when I first started rebuilding these lighters, or first started getting these smaller O-rings, I started recording the sizes. It made my life so much easier. Instead, because I don't remember all that stuff. I'm barely lucky I remember what day I was born. Sometimes on these lighters, I'll take them apart and I'll have a problem with them. I mean, I'll have a problem with them. I don't understand it. And I'll just have to let it sit. Maybe for freaking, they might sit for a week. And when I do that, I got to take pictures of it and tear it apart, because I might forget. Because I ain't sharp as pencil out there, guys. And I'll tell you what, you want to, if you ever want to know who's sharp on doing small repairs, want to watch somebody do one of them watch repair videos. Holy moly, man. Them guys got far more freaking parts than you can imagine. You gotta go in they just gotta go in just perfectly too, That's something I wouldn't want to do. I ain't no lighter repair guy, or watch repair guy. Man, oh man, get in there. I tell you, I'm gonna have to start buying me some quality tweezers. Here's what I do. See how I freaking grind these things down, because I need them for a particular job. And also too, you got to get some, You gotta get some that aren't magnetic. See how that fits in there? You can't even tell there's anything in there. But butane seeps out around that. Now, this is a little loose. You see that? But I ain't gonna squeeze around on it. Because this seal will seal butane from coming past, and this seal will seal butane coming past this end. So let me take this O-ring off and put another one on. That O-ring looks pretty good, but all else fails, you guys are doing this, you don't have the O-rings. Let's see, 3.2 by 0.7. 3.2 by 0.7. This is 8. 3.2 by 0.7. Right here. That makes my life so much simpler. Sometimes, you know, the parts might look, these valves might look the same, but there might be some different dimensions too, so you just gotta double check them after you put them on. Make sure that what I'll do on this here is I'll take the head and I'll kind of put it in here. Yeah, got a good seal on it. All right. So be careful with these springs. Don't handle them springs with your pinkies, your fingers, because then you'll fing off, and I'll tell you what, good luck. Let me look down in here and make sure I don't have any part of a no-ring. Yeah, I do. I got part of I got some dirt down in there. See part of an O-ring? Yeah, get in there, and you want to make sure you clean all them old rings and stuff out, because you don't want to get it in there and get it all back together. Then you know what happens, it starts leaking, then you got to take it apart again. That ain't no fun. That's why, do something right. If you're going to do something, do it right first time. How much longer is it going to take for you to get down in there and just do a little cleaning? What's it going to take, a minute? Take a lot longer than that. Take your lighter back apart. I can tell that got some dirt out, discolored. Let me blow some butane through there. There we go. We're perfect. You can see all the way through there now. Cool. Alright. Now, just drop that down in there and move it around till it falls. Then take a peek inside there again. what I'm doing here is I'm expecting to make sure the spring's still around where it was, that it didn't come off by hitting the side of something. It's good, so we're good there. Oop, did you see that? Whoa, I knew better than that. Man, I knew better than that. Thank goodness I didn't lose that spring. And you got that little cap right there. Right there hit this bottom of this, blew it right out. Nah. Let's check that again. I want to check that. I want to double, yeah. Okay, it went on. It's good. Okay. I'll just leave that up. Tilt it a little bit. And let's work on this. You got to make sure this thing is cleaned out because these get dirty. And that old ring just disintegrated. Let's see, I want to clean this off with a little bit of alcohol. See, got a little bit more of that old ring off right there. Because you can't see down in that channel. There's a little piece of O-ring down in there. You put another one on, you can have a hairline leak, you know. You might not notice it, but you'll have a hairline leak nevertheless. That's a 2mm by 0.07. Apparently I didn't have that one left out. Right there. Oh, that's too freaking... that's not right. I used something different on that other one yesterday. I think that one 2.6. What was that? What's the diameter of that? 2.5. Okay, let's find something that's 2.5. I'm changing that. 2.7 right there. 2.7 by 6. Not the right one. We're going to use that one. 2.7 by 6. Alright. That's going to fit in there tight. But you know, these O-rings, guys, they get, because they're going in against threads, they get really burgered up. So I think that'll work in here. Let's see here. We'll find out here. screwdriver here I made. And just cut it out with one of these. And there and cut her out. Now you can buy them online. I got one from AliExpress here that is bigger, but I ground it down for something else. But I sent a smaller one. I had like this size. I sent it to a guy. I don't know why he just is. Yeah, because he sent me lighters back, and I said, hey, if you ever have that problem again, rather than send it to me and spend $15, just unscrew the screw out of the back of this and use this tool, because all you got in the bottom here, see how I'm adjusting that screw in there with this? All you got on the bottom is this screw right here. It goes in there next. So if you could just take this screw out, you can get in there with something like this and just make your own adjustments, you know, instead of freaking, because you know, you spend $12 shipping it to me and $12 ship it back. You know, I think I got on AliExpress, and I think I got these for $1. You know, matter of fact, I might make a note and get a smaller one. But I had this one here made before I bought those. So, okay, right now what I'm going to do is get a little bit of grease on these O-rings. Don't take a lot, guys. All you want to do is just want a wet look on that seal, because you don't want a bunch of grease going into that orifice, like right down in there. Let's put a little silicone grease on that. Like I said, on that one, I don't think you see. You don't want a bunch of grease going down inside here. That's your orifice. So, all right. Let me double check this again before we're good. Now I can put this down in there. Get a little screwdriver. And we'll get the right one. That's not it. It's this one here. Stop when it gets so far and put this on there. Okay. Tell the spring's on there, right? It's doing its job. All right. Now what I want to do is get some butane in there. See how silent that was? Didn't hear a bunch of gushing out, did you? Sometimes you gotta do this multiple times to get the air out of the tank, guys, because when you start, get you one of these bleeding tools off eBay. Look at cigar tool. Okay? This is, super glue on that. This is best tool I got. It's got a hole on top, flip it 180 degrees, there's another hole. This is brass. Best tool for bleeding there is. Don't get you none of these freaking Zycar freaking bleeders. They're junk, alright? This tool here lets you know that you got butane in it. Because what you, like right now, all you're hearing is air. You say, well, how do you know when you got enough butane in it? Because when you stick this on here, let's see what happens. See that liquid gas come out of there? Well, then you know you're good. And I usually top it off, but right now, hear that? A lot of gas coming through there. I want to get in there and adjust this down. You say, well, why don't you just screw it down and back it off, because I don't like screwing these freaking things back and forth. You know, well, got plenty there, don't we? Try about a quarter turn, see what we got. Well, it's a little too much. I'm going to leave that a little high, like that, and just let the maximum flame adjustment do the screw here. The reason is because I want to make sure that enough pressure. I want to make sure that sometimes, you know, when you fill these up, the pressure goes down if they sit a while, because right now this lighter bodies is cold, okay? When it warms up, you know, the pressure settles down a little bit inside the lighter. Right, there you go. And what I like to do now is get you a little, I got this here, it's a little, got some 91 alcohol in it, and I'll go in here and I'll double check there ain't no freaking bubbles coming out of there. Right now there's butane sitting all across the top of this. I'm getting a little bubble out of the filler valve, not out of this. Yeah, okay. Well, I could see by looking down in there that I'm getting some micro bubbles that's just coming up, so I'll suck all that out of there. Come down here with this and I'll tighten that a little more. Just a little bit, guys. You want to be able to tighten it down. You snug it all down, it leaks, you loosen it up, you ain't going to solve your problem. You always want to just snug it down just enough to get the bubbles out of there. Yeah, I think what I need to do, what I'm going to do is, I don't think that was sealing quite right. I think it's maybe a few micro bubbles down in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this. I couldn't get that out before. I had to take all the, you know, and poke through this side. I think what I need to do is well, that yeah, I'm gonna put another O-ring on there. Yeah, that O-ring looked good, but thick. I don't know what size that is. Let me measure it. And I needed to put some O-ring grease around it too. 5.2 by 1.2. 5.2 by 1.2. 5.2 by 1.2. Give me a second here. Let's see. I got 5.5. Let me look at the rest of them here I got. Yeah, I think I want to use this one here. I think I want to use this one. No. Maybe this one here. Yeah, we'll use that one. There we go, right. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. But I'm going to get some O-ring grease around that. I'm just snuggling it down just a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I got it out. I'm just going to replace this one too. Eight. Here's a 7. Forgot to do. Make sure inside this is clean. I had a little dirt, little O-ring dirt in tight. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to have to bleed the tank again. One more time. Getting low on butane. There we go. Top it off. All right, see what we got now. Spin it around here and look. Looks good. Smooth it down just a hair more. Oop. Now I got a leak. Ooh. I see what happened. I see what happened. The O-ring come off. Well, snugged it down too much. That'll be a quick fix here. Let's get the O-ring out here. Fill her out. Yeah, put, see what happened? Snugged it down too much. Definitely burgered up the O-ring, and that center O-ring wants to come out of there, which I don't want to happen. Well, let me get that O-ring out of there so I can find my there. I didn't realize I you know, tightened down too far on that. It's okay. I'll get another one. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Even better. I'm going to get in here and find me one. Well, I thought I had some 90 Duros in here. Let's see here. That one might work better. I gotta stretch that. I think that one might work better. We'll see. If not, let's try. not, let's try the 3.1. Yeah. I thought these were 90 duros or 70. I don't know where I put my 90s at, but yeah, I cut that up. Turn that. That valve's got some. It's got some edges on it apparently. That valve apparently got some edges of some sort on it. So let's do it this way. Where's that at? Right here. Burger this up. You can see that right now. Freaking doing that aluminum on this. Just a minute, guys. Gotta get the aluminum off of here. What a mess. What a mess. I'm gonna get that aluminum. Ouch. Man. That's what happens when you try to get in a hurry. Let's see here. Alright. Let's go with that. Boy, that's heavy. That's thick. Get in there. Yeah, let's do it from this way then. This O-ring, if anything, could be too thick. You say, well, why is that? Well, maybe not too thick to work. Doing the job here that it needs to do, but it might be too thick when it comes to putting that filler valve cap back on. That way you got the clearance, you know, to screw it back down completely. If we got an issue, well, I'm going to have an issue if I keep using that. If we got an issue, that's what it's going to be. make sure you get that in here too. Let's see. That's pretty thick, but we're going to give it a shot. That's so thick, I'm not even going to put, yeah, it's not even, that's too much. That's way too much. I want to try a small one. Let's see what happens. That goes in the garbage too. I don't even save them. I'm going to try the small one. And to see if that works. Sometimes you just never know. Yeah, got some dirt out of there. That helped. Yeah, a little O-ring grease. Okay, let's go with that. We'll see. Sometimes you gotta use an O-ring, thicker O-ring on them because the valve didn't get completely squared when you tapped it out. Put the other one in. I've had to do that. I'm probably going to run out of butane. I hope not. There's some in here. Yeah, we got enough air pressure in there. Let's try it. Got a couple bubbles popped around the top there. Now, try screwing that down a little more. The O-ring's trying to come out of my filler valve. I think we got her. We got her. I need a thicker one-piece O-ring. Go down there because I had to put 2 of them rubber O-rings on that. Just keep an eye on this, what's the gentleman's name? John. Keep an eye on that O-ring. Because there's 2 of them down in here in order for me to be able to seal your butane can. So if you take that off and one comes out, you want to try to make sure you get it pushed back down on there. get you one of these. I'll try a 2mm. There's a 2mm, almost fits around that pin. Yeah, there we go. Fits around that pin, and there we go. One more time. That O-ring come off again. I'm gonna leave it out. See what happens. Yeah. I'm gonna have to. What can I get that's gonna be thick enough around there? Oh, I got an idea. I got an idea. All right. Something just come to mind, guys. I want to do it now while I'm thinking about it. I'm getting these O-rings out of here. I suppose the other one's going to be a little hard coming out. There we go. Let's see how thick that is. Let me, just give me a second. You guys out there might need to know this information yourself. Okay, about 2. Going to be approximately about 2 by 3.5. Okay. 2 by 3.5. Here's what I'm going to use. I'm going to try one of these. I'm just going to cut that down. That's, yeah. There's a small one. This is a thicker flat seal. What did I say the diameter of that was? 3. 3.5. Okay, 3.5. 4.5. 3. 3.5. Use this tool right here. I'm going to try to punch this. Get that centered right down in there. Look at that. That did punch that pretty good. Quite right, but it might work. Wasn't perfect. Just one side's better. Let's see what we got Yep, that's better. We're good. Yep. All right. All right. Still got some air in there. Let's bleed it again. That's gonna be good. Oh yeah. We're good. Looky there, guys. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Thing we need to do now is do some cleaning here. Tip. Don't be pushing real hard on that, guys. Just we're good. Now let's unscrew this. We're good. Now let's see how this fits in there. It's in there good. It's in there good. All right. Well, I gotta heat that up. Got the flint wheel all wet. There we go. Now what the last job to do is it's going to lose a little bit, but to weigh it up. What's the weight on that? I had a piece of paper here somewhere. 60.84. And it says 9.1. Let's just tear it again. 60.83. I don't worry too much about them tenths, guys. Let's see how that fluctuates a little bit. Don't worry too much about that. 60.8, you know. If you got a leak, it'll be 60.7 tomorrow, then, you know, that's way too much. Or, no, you can handle 60.7. Because usually when the lighter settles, see how this varying under there a little bit? This is a new scale. 60.83, that's what I'm just going to use. Stay 60.8 or something like that, we're good. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's it on that.